Hi, I'm Joseph Phillips. Welcome to this conversation and series of video where I talk about the real purpose of project management, and that's creating value. Value is kind of a nebulous term. What does it mean to be a value? Value, we're talking about the benefits that the project creates, the reason why we're doing the project. It's so important to understand value from the different perspectives of the people involved in the project. That will help you better manage the project. So for example, if your boss, your manager comes to you, they say, this is a very important project to create a bridge, all right? Kind of a big project, but we're gonna create a bridge. Well, what's the value? So you think about the people who have to drive over that bridge. There's a lot of value. You think about the community, the businesses on either side of that bridge, the people can come in and purchase things from their shops. They see value in the bridge. Your organization sees value in the profitability of what they are going to earn by completing the bridge. So the value is really from a lot of different perspectives. The value for you and your team is employment. You get a paycheck or a bonus or something to that end. So value means a lot of different things to different people. Well, as a project manager, when we think about value, we want to think about why are we doing this project? That the value in a project is to get things done, to get to the end of the project and to have the bridge built. But the value from all of our stakeholders is going to have lots of different perspectives. Some people are going to place a higher value on your project than others. So for example, you have that bridge. Well, the value for the inspector is not the same value or as high of a value for the people who can't wait for the bridge to get done so they can drive across the bridge to get to work or go about their life. The value for your organization is different than the inspector or the people. So everybody has a different perspective on what the value of the project may be. So we need some consensus on the business value, why we're doing this project, the end result of the project. So to build the bridge or to complete the project is the goal. Whenever we talk about value in a project, we want to talk about the desired future state. If this is where we are now, and through the project we'll achieve value by getting to that desired future state, of getting to the end result of the project. So whatever the project may be, IT, healthcare, manufacturing, construction, we want to look at what is the desired future state. That's the value that we're most concerned about. By reaching that desired future state, we're achieving the value for lots of different stakeholders. But we have to get to that desired future state in order to realize the business value, the reason why the business is investing time and money to get this thing done. Obviously, I'm talking about a predictive project, about predicting where we want to end up. Often in a predictive project, where we try to predict all the phases, all the things that will happen throughout the project, we don't realize value until the end of the project. There's no value in 99%. We have to get value when we are 100% done. Just like if you're writing a book and you've got 20 chapters to write, the book really doesn't have any value until you're at chapter 20, until it's done and ready to be published. Then it realizes value. So we have to look at our project and say, well, are there opportunities for intermittent value, or does the value come only at the end of the project? In an agile project, adaptive, like Scrum or XP or Lean, where we have iterations and increments of work, then we have increments of value. Now, not every project can be an adaptive project. That some projects, like construction, you don't get any value till you're 100% done. But if we're designing a piece of software, we're coding that piece of software, there are opportunities for incremental chunks of value. So that's one of the advantages of an adaptive project, is that we can create a limited version of the final product that has some functionality and some value, that we don't have to wait to the very end in order to realize the value, that we can have these little pieces of value and the aggregate of those reaches the desired future state. But not every project can be agile or adaptive. Some projects, just by the nature of what we're doing, all relies on obtaining the desired future state to realize the value. So as a project manager, we have to look at the project, look at the scope of what we are trying to create in order to identify what the value for this project may be. That value is why we're doing it, and can we have incremental value, or does everything have to be done in order to realize the full value of the project? So it's really important to understand, why are we doing this project, and when does value come into play? Value, business value, is a term that gets thrown around a lot. So we really have to have some consensus on what equates to value. Just because something is valuable, because we say it's valuable, doesn't necessarily mean that it's a value for all of the people involved. So let's go back to that idea at the beginning of this video, where we have the different stakeholders and what's important to them. One of the things that we have to do in project management is to manage our relationship with stakeholders, to manage their expectations. So the expectations are what they are attaching themselves to, maybe emotionally or mentally, what they're attaching themselves to in order to get what's important to them, in order to get that value of what you're creating. So we have to understand what is important to those stakeholders. Where do they see the value in this project? Your team, the people working on your project that are closest to actually creating the value, they need to have some understanding as well as to what the value means for the organization, but all of the different stakeholders that are going to be interacting with. That's part of managing that stakeholder relationship, of understanding what's important to those stakeholders and how we're going to realize their value. So business value is why we're doing the project, and then we have the stakeholders, what they perceive as value, what's most important to them. And then we compare and contrast, is this a predictive project where we don't realize value till everything's done? Or is this like a Scrum project, adaptive, where we can have increments of value throughout the project? All right, so I'll be creating a series of videos where we're going to talk about value in different phases of a project, or the different ways that we get from the current state all the way to that desired future state. If you are interested in learning more about project management, I encourage you to come over to my site, instructing.com, where I have a bunch of classes about project management, everything from getting started as a PM all the way to earning your PMP or your CAPM or your Agile Certified Practitioner. So come over to instructing.com and check it out. All right, thanks for your time and attention, and I'll see you in the next lecture. Keep moving forward.